So you want to know how to stop caring about what people think of you? No worries, I got you. By the end of this video, you will have all the tools that you need to be unbothered. If you're new here, hi, I'm Ty, and I love giving you the skills and tools that you need to secure the future that you want and connect in your relationships. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of this life-changing content. Okay, let's grow. So let's get into the mindset around judging a little bit, because that's what we're really talking about here. We're talking about how to not care when someone judges you. So we all judge. It's how we evolved. We judge situations, we judge other people, and we judge ourselves. It's one of the biggest ways that we are able to protect ourselves. That feeling that you get, your intuition, it's ingrained in us. So accepting that others judge us just as we judge them is really key to not really caring about the fact that people are judging you, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be able to remember, like, okay, they're just doing what they feel like they need to do to survive. Like, it's not personal to you. They're judging other people, they're judging other situations, and they're judging themselves, like I said. It's just a part of us as human beings, and that's not something that's going to go away. It's just a matter of, like, to what extent we're judging and if we're letting those judgments make us treat people in a way that's unkind or unfair. Like racism, for example. So judging in and of itself is not bad. It's really just when we allow other people's judgments to make us question our own worth and stop us from doing the things that we feel like we want to do, and it stops us from being our true selves. That's when it becomes a problem, and that's what we're going to address here. I just want to make sure that I'm clear that wanting to be liked and wanting to be accepted does not make you bad, and it doesn't say anything about you as a person except for the fact that you're human. To our minds, it's literally life or death, because back in those times, if you were kicked out of the herd, if you were kicked out of the group, you died. You had no shelter, you had no food, you had no protection. So us getting kicked out and not being accepted and going off on our own literally equals death in our mind. We have an inherent fear of being excluded. So let's just be clear now that we're not going to ever be able to completely rid ourselves from caring about what other people think about us, if they like us or not, because it's literally ingrained in us. We're social beings, and it's a part of our survival. We all care on some level. The trick is not letting it affect our self-worth and what we think about ourselves. So let's get into that. So when people judge us, we feel the need to conform based off of how they responded to us. We're almost like chameleons in a way, transforming into who we need to be around whoever it may be. You're not the same in front of your teacher as you are in front of your parent. You're not the same in front of your parent and your teacher as you are in front of your friends. And you're not the same when you're around anybody else as you are when you're by yourself. And to some extent, that's normal and it's okay, because we change depending on who we're around. But it can be very dangerous if you don't know who you are, if your core beliefs are changing as you're around these people. So I'm not talking about like not cursing in front of your parents, but cursing in front of your friends. Those types of things are normal, right? It's about respect and things of that nature. But when you change your core beliefs, like let's say for example you're Muslim and you were having lunch with some friends and they ordered a pepperoni pizza, and just to not like upset them or disappoint them, you decided that you were gonna have some of that pepperoni pizza just to not like cause a stir. That is not okay. That's changing who you are. It's going against your beliefs to please somebody else. And those are the types of things that will hurt your character. That's why I said that it's not okay. And this is something that happened from our early childhood. Our parents and caregivers showed us what behaviors were acceptable and which ones weren't. They chastised us based off of how we behaved. So we learned from a very early age that it's okay to do certain things and it's not okay to do other things. It's okay to show certain parts of yourself and it's not okay to show other parts of yourself. Like when little boys get told that they shouldn't cry or that they shouldn't play with dolls and things of that nature. They carry that thought later in life that they can't show emotion because it makes them look weak or feminine, and that they can't have interest in certain things that are considered feminine, or they'll be judged. It's not acceptable for a boy. You see what I mean, Jelly Bean? Now, changing your behavior based off of how people are responding to you is not necessarily all a bad thing. For example, if you keep sleeping with people on the first or second date and they never call you back or they never take you seriously, and at some point you're like, okay, this isn't getting me the results that I want, and you stop doing that, that's a good thing. You've learned from your behavior and how people are responding to you that this is not giving you the outcome that you want. So it will behoove you to change. Or maybe you're always late to work and you've gotten penalized for it and you're like, okay, I don't want to get fired, let me change this behavior. This isn't getting me the response that I want. In both of these situations, you would have learned that your behavior is not acceptable and that you should probably change it if you want to start seeing different outcomes. So that's what I mean by we have to care to a certain extent, and that it could actually benefit us in some ways to look at how people are responding to us for us to change our behavior. Imagine what a relationship would be like if the other person didn't care about what the other person thought. Imagine what that would be like if we were never considerate of each other's feelings and thoughts. So make sure that you're not putting yourself down for not being a robot. Again, it is only when we start to question ourselves and our worth that it becomes a problem. So the first way that you can stop caring about what people think about you is by understanding that it is not personal to you. We're all judging situations for our own survival and our own needs. The second way is by understanding that how people respond to us doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, and that we can actually learn from those behaviors to grow ourselves. Now I'm going to get into the third way. So when people say that you're fat or skinny or dumb or ugly, those are judgments. But guess what? When someone says that you're smart and funny and pretty and have a sexy body, those are judgments too. So if we want to stop caring about what people are saying to us that's negative, we also have to not care about what they're saying to us that's positive. I'm not tripping. Hear me out on this. They both have to be neutral to you. You can't ignore the negative and let all of the positive go to your head. If you ignore all of the negative that somebody says to you, but you take in all of the positive that somebody says to you, you're still letting other people control what you think about yourself. If today someone says you're pretty, you feel good and you're like, oh yeah, I am pretty. And the next day someone says that you're ugly and you question yourself, that's a problem. So to stop caring about what people think about you, you need to train yourself to take it all in as feedback. It's simply feedback. What somebody says about you is just their feedback. It's their opinion, good or bad. It's just feedback. If they say you're a BITCH, thank you for your feedback. If they say you're the sweetest person in the world that they've ever met, thank you for your feedback. Everything that comes into you from the outside has to be taken as neutral. It's just information for you to process. You don't have to believe it. It's just how somebody else perceived you, which you have no control over. All you can control is how you respond to that feedback and how you let that feedback affect what you think about yourself. And that brings me to my last point, which is that the most important way for you to stop caring about what other people think is for you to realize that your opinion matters above all else. Your opinion of yourself matters more than anyone else's. It's at the top. You value your own opinion of yourself more than anyone else's. I'm not talking about being a know-it-all or being inflexible in situations with other people. But when it comes to you, yes, you need to be an expert. You need to know who you are with certainty. If somebody said to you that the planet that you live on right now is not called Earth, you're gonna look at them like, what the hell are you talking about? They're not going to be able to convince you otherwise, because you know without a doubt that the planet that you live on is called Earth. If you identify as female and you're in a room full of people and someone says, excuse me, sir, are you gonna turn around? No, because you know that you're a female. There's no doubt about it. So likewise, if somebody said that you're ugly, if you know inside and out that you're beautiful, it's not even gonna faze you. You're gonna be like, they got eyes or what? It's their problem. So when you notice that people are saying something about you that gets to you, it's probably because in some way, shape, or form, you believe it to be true. Nothing is going to hurt you if you don't already feel like that's possible. Like, is it possible that I'm ugly? Oh, maybe I am. I already was having bad feelings about myself. This person just confirmed it for me. That's when those things start to affect you. But you should take that moment to grow yourself. Take that moment to reflect and say, why is this bothering me right now? Do I think that that's true? Why do I think that that's true? Have I heard this before? Have I felt this way before? Because the answer is probably going to be yes. And that is a chance for you to prove that thought wrong or that judgment prove it wrong, and write a new belief for yourself. Create your own opinion to one that serves you and lifts you up. And repeat it to yourself every time that you start to question yourself based off of what somebody else said to you. And I just want to note here that we also judge ourselves. And when you find that that is happening, when the voice in your own head is putting you down and making you feel like crap and telling you that you can't do something, you need to stand up to that voice. You need to say, no, you're wrong. I'm gonna do that thing. I can do that thing. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna challenge myself. Be quiet, voice. I know that you're trying to protect me because you're scared, but I need to grow. I need things to change in my life. I need to evolve. Please remember that when it comes to you and who you choose to be, your opinion matters above all else. This is your show. You call the shots. You're the boss. I hope that this video resonated with you. Comment below if you have any tips on how to stop caring about what people think about you, or what tips you're going to start doing today. Till next time, be well.